I'll tell you what, I didn't get, Amy and I have not been able to collaborate and connect to do a video, an opening video, and, I can tell you the open house went well. I'm going to talk about all the horses. We're going to talk to Amy at some point about all the horses she went with. But the story of the day is the heat. I'm 48 years old. I've seen lots of heat. It kind of crept up on me. It was hard today. That was a hot day, and in fact, it's really put a crimp into everything. They have moved the post time to 9 a.m. in Kentucky tomorrow. 9 a.m. They're going to race horses because there's just too much heat in the area in Oak Grove. So I had to get off the bike. I'll tell you what, I went home quick. I'm going to be late for Ollie's second game. To me, the open house was great, but I'll tell you what, I was trying to quietly watch Ollie's baseball game as it was going on. Now, when he first moved here, he played for Nordonia, and a good little team, and they had some good players on the team, and when he was committing to Ontario, that team, they said they needed more of a commitment, and we just in good faith give it to them. So Ollie didn't play for them the next year. Now, there was a falling out with the coach and some other people. And again, I guess that's all third person. I don't really care. At the end of the day, a lot of the team dispersed. And a lot of the players that were good players that Ollie played with played for a team called the Diamond Dogs. I hadn't paid much attention. And then, lo and behold, the team he was single round knockout tournament days, 5 or 6 teams. They won the first 2 games. They were playing the Diamond Dogs today, and I was looking at the lineup and I saw some of the names that looked familiar. So as I was doing my best to pay attention to everything going on at the track, I was kind of always peering over at the corner to see how Ollie was doing. And he was the starting pitcher today, and they were behind 10-6? 10-6 in the 5th inning, and they come back and won. And I haven't seen him yet. I'm on my way to watch the next game, single round knockout. Quietly, I didn't really plan on going to the next game. I thought they were going to be out. So I just had to get home. I was overheating. It really took its toll on me. And then the idea I had to cancel my flight to Oak Grove, see if I could get a new flight that gets me there early enough to go with the horses. I did. I had to cancel with Delta and get a flight with Southwest and come back with Delta. Anyway, it was just, there was a lot going on as the broadcast ended. I didn't get a chance to look at the videos yet from today. I wasn't surprised. I guess Megan had some broken equipment there. She had to pull up. She'll go back Thursday. I'll go back Thursday with her. The heat really bothers her, I've noticed. Of all the horses we have, the heat really bothers Megan's lucky day. So we'll work on that. Try and get a handle on exactly what that is. I don't think it's anything serious, but I am going to keep a very close eye on her. I don't really know. Tyler said she had broken equipment. I was talking to somebody going, and Tyler was gone, and I didn't get a chance to touch base with him after that. But I didn't have any other surprises. I think I was pretty clear. Capistrano Nights, I think, got cast about a month ago. That left hind was bothering her a little bit. But she just seemed a little sharp. Not fractious, not scared, just a little sharp going to the gate. I lost her coming off the cart, maybe a little bit left hind. And then the rest of her mile was pretty good, actually. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't disappointed with her. A little disappointed with AC/DC, but that's just a combination of physical and mental immaturity. I'm just going to kick him out the field for a month and let him grow up, bring him back in the fall. We've done that over the last 2 years. It's worked fairly well. I believe it's worked fairly well for the most part. What do we got here?
3 of them.
We got 3 cops and 1 car. Okay, seem to be an abundance of police officers. Where was I? AC/DC. So I'm going to kick AC/DC out in the field. Just going to give him some time off. Probably 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks maybe. Bring him back and let him grow up. Right? That's the hope. You can see it when you look at it. There's just, listen, we do everything we can to get all the horses ready, but some of them just aren't ready. You can't rush it. It's just maturity. And I think ACDC falls under that category. And when you look at Capistrano Knights, she's a nice filly. I think she's going to do us some good. But we're going to have to allow her also to mature. And when we've got to a date like June the 22nd, and these horses are still maturing, they're going to go into stake races in 3 weeks, and they're going to be at a disadvantage. And that's not something we want to do. You know, the maiden, Knowledge of 2, those horses are going to win. ACDC will come back and win Knowledge of 1, Knowledge of 2. You know, Capistrano Knights will also. But how do we get to the best form of those horses? And in these particular instances, I believe it's a no-brainer. I mean, I shouldn't have to convince people of this. You just need some time to grow up. Nothing more. And they're not the only ones going through that. Listen, Neuromancer's over in Ontario. I picked him, I think, in my top 10 5-6 weeks ago. A horse that I still hold in very high regard, and yet maturity, they have to be able to mature. You have to let them grow up. There's no two ways about it. So I'm going to rewind right to the start of the day, our day anyway, qualifier number 3. You know, I think I made it very clear in the broadcast, if Uncle Danny wasn't in our barn, Supermind would likely be heading to the next generation in a couple of weeks, right? That's what I would assume. This horse, you know, I know you see 2-2, 29 and 359. We've already trained him in 2-1. This horse is trotting 57, 58 at the Meadows right now also. I guarantee you he would. I like this colt, and you know, for a breed that really didn't make a massive splash in Ohio, the creatines have done us no harm. We had another really nice creatine. I'm trying to think of who it was. Nice horse. We had some horses that I really, really liked that were creatines. Anyway, Supermind's just another one on that list. Really nice colt. On Sarah, I made fun of Chris later on. On Sarah, I was hoping Amy would win, obviously, today. Something. I don't think Chris Lems realized that it was her first qualifying day ever, or he wouldn't have been in a big hurry to mow her down with the other filly. But On Sarah looked very, very good also. We're getting off right here. On Sarah looked really good also. I think very highly of this filly. Now, I'll tell you quite plainly, and I can't back it up with any sort of information right now. I am certain I could go out and train her at 59 or 2 minutes by herself right now. She is going to make a splash in the Ohio Stake program. Is it going to be in the Sire Stake or Buckeye level? I'm not sure, but I think very, very highly of Aunt Sarah. And I know you see 2-3 last quarter, 29 and 4 this time of year. But remember, these are the first qualifiers for these horses, and it is the first qualifier for Aunt Sarah also. So, a very good mile for Aunt Sarah, and I believe she is going to be a very good filly for us. Emerald Tom snapped me right on the wire for third. Had to know, I'll talk about both of them. Emerald Tom, Tyler said left line hard. Right, we can fix that. Well, he was running in bad. Now, here's the problem. He doesn't trot the turns well, so I do like him running out a little bit. I'm not really going to change a whole lot. Maybe add a line pole to the outside, but I don't think we're going to be taking off equipment just yet with Emerald Tom. But again, he said the horse was very strong, half in 104 and 2, a mile in 203 and 2. So last half in 59, last quarter 29 and 4. Had to know, I had said it in the broadcast. I think you guys can understand. I went to start him up first over, and he got out of gear, 4 or 5 times. But the biggest takeaway for me with respect to Head to Know is that he didn't run. He could have at any point. He'd be like, I got out of gear. We got to change some gear on him. He'll be fine. Never run, not one time. So I think that's an important component of any 2-year-old trotter's resume. Here lies a horse that's got a decent amount of speed but does not want to run. Well, you should be able to race that horse, right? You should be able to race that horse. He's a nice horse, does his work well. And he will get better. We'll be able to square him away. Here's the problem with Head to Know. He wears those bar shoes for a reason. And I think I can tell you how we can probably help smoothen his gait out, but it might end up in a quarter crack, and I don't want that. So he's a little tricky in the sense that we're going to have to work around some issues with him. But as I said, the biggest takeaway from today with Head to Know is he wanted to do his work. We can help him. He wanted to do his work. So all 4 of the first qualifier were very, very good. Went out in the second qualifier. Perfection Hanover was good. We had the 2 breakers, right? Capistrano Knights and ACDC. That's fine. A little time off is not going to kill them. We'll give them the month of July probably in the field. The last week of June and the month of July in the field. Bring them back. We'll have them ready to go first part of September. And quite frankly, I think they're Capistrano Knight's probably paid into the fairs. She'll probably make a fair at Jug Week, I would imagine. You could probably have some fun with her the rest of the season, but need to give her a little bit of time to grow up and mature. And as for ACDC, our focus will be bringing the best form of him back we can, racing in the overnights, win a maiden, hours or two, shut him down and bring him back, hopefully for what could be a decent 3-year-old season. And that will be the plan with ACDC. As I said to one of our clients in the barn, I know everybody wants to see their horses win, but you don't want to see them race, but you want to see them win. You don't want to see them finish last. We could patch up both those horses, put them in to go, and watch them get beat up. There's just no point of that. Let's bring them back the best form of themselves so that they can have a good start to their career. And what's good for them, obviously, is good for us. Now, the 5th qualifier, which was our 3rd qualifier, Judy's Money. Chris Lems mowed down Amy at the wire with Rico Tubbs. I said Amy didn't want to go too much on the front end. I'd already trained Rico Tubbs in 2-1 at least one time. A mile in 5 and 3 will just result in a faster qualifier, probably over at the Meadows a week from Tuesday, or we might put him in to go. I don't know what qualifying time for a 2-year-old on a half-mile track at the Meadows is, but I suspect 2, 5 and 3 probably do it, wouldn't it? I would imagine. If we can get him in a maiden, make no mistake, so let's try 2 minutes, 2-1 right now, and we'll trot in 58, much like I said about all our horses that'll be headed to the Stallion Series right away. I think Rico Tubbs is one of them, and we're going to have some fun with him this summer also. Royal Duchess, I talked to Tyler after. He said, I hadn't gone with her a while, and I was more worried about keeping her trotting. At no point did she want to run, and she seemed relatively sound. He said, just keep after it, keep after it. He said, I was stuck between worrying about her making a break, and then it became apparent to me at some point in the mile, obviously I'm paraphrasing, it became apparent to him at some point in the mile that she wasn't going to run. And he said at that point it was just, get a good mile into her. And he did. I was happy with a mile 6 and 1 with Royal Duchess off a half and 104 and 4. So 2, 5 and 3 for Judy's Money, the winner. She was at her outside knee, touching her knee. So weird. When we had Alexandra last year, never touched her knee till the qualifiers. That filly never came anywhere near her knee until 2 weeks ago. And now she get into it again today. Now we can work with her and change her shoeing and get her away from that knee somewhat. Chris also said out the straightaways, away from the Murphy blind, hitting the outside knee, so in, he said, but does run into the turns. So he thought maybe just a head pull inside, take the Murphy blind off. We'll work with her shoeing to get her off that knee. That won't be a problem. We can take care of that. Now, that was Judy's Money. Rico Tubbs was fine. Just needs a faster mile into him. Royal Duchess was good. Rose Run Bobby, subdued. And I have to understand, you guys have to understand, speed. I've already trained Rose Run Bobby in 2-1. Speed is not going to be a problem. The problem is understanding the speed, using it properly, having a brain in your head. The last one is a problem for her. She doesn't have one. She does not have much of a brain in her head. God love her. I said it a million times. She's the sweetest filly in the world, and probably gonna like her for a very long time. But we are going to have to be very, very careful how we utilize that speed. She's already got a taste of it in her mouth, and to be honest, if you cut her loose off the car or cut her loose early, I think she would just go until she gets tired, and then what do you have? Cheap speed, and you don't want that. So we're doing our best to allocate Bobby's speed best we can. I was happy that she did her work well and zipped through right at the wire. If you watch after the wire, she zipped down to the inside and took off again. A mile in 6 and 3 off a half in 105 and 3. Certainly nothing to be too concerned about. He's a fearless Peter. I guess we'll put the hobbles on. I made fun of Justin a little bit. He said, I'll get him around. But he did do a good job. This horse has made a break on a lot of people. Jo J. Fotang, the qualifier on her was exceptional. She made a lot of breaks in her life. I was happy that he got her around. But he's a fearless Peter. It's very simple. I said, we'll just throw the training wheels on him, put the hobbles on Peter, and there won't be a problem after that. He'll be right back into qualify, I suspect, on Thursday also. Now, the last qualifier, Jolene Hall's going to the gate, and I look down. She wears trotting shoes and flip-flops. For those of you who know out there, that's a substantial amount of weight, what a trotter might wear, and she was missing one. Her right front shoe was gone. Well, I'm not going to pull her up and look for it. She's just going to have to make do. And she did. Blast her right out of there, made front with her, very green. You can see her pulling up at times down the backstretch. She was actually running in a little bit on top of the pylons, but once Chris Lems got up beside her, game on. She fought him off, and at no point was I worried. We got to head a lane, I called on her, and she was gone again. just we're gonna have a lot of fun with this filly. I know my old buddy Joel messaged me and said, do you think she's going to be fast enough? Do you think she's going to be okay? I said, Joel, it's a sweetheart of a filly. She does everything right, and she's only going to get better at everything she does. I like this filly. I'm not going to advocate for her to be a sire stake filly, but we're going to have a lot of fun with this filly this summer, and I really, really like Jolene Hall. Steph's Hope, it's not pouring out of her today. No temperature. Dr. Latessa, we did a snap test on her. We talked about this week, that SAA test. It was 1. So there was no sickness, but it must have just been all allergies. And there was a lot of them. Going out in the track, there was white. And she's not like a horse. She's been good. So I said to Lauren, she looked, she goes, what do you think? And I said, you know what, Lauren, she's a nice filly. Just duck her in and race her on the end of it and see how she feels. Lauren said she was great. 2-3 last quarter at 30 seconds, last half at 1:03. Can't ask for much more from Steph. So we get some really, really nice trotting colts and some pretty nice trotting fillies. Pretty nice trotting fillies for... where are we going here? It's not this one. I almost have gone on the highway.
Ohio 8
Yeah,
South.
yeah, we're going 8 South, right. So Jolene Hall was great. Steph's Hope was great. Joe J. Fotag got it done now. I'm going to tell all my partners right now, I'm just going to put her up for sale. I know she qualified. I know she won a mile in 2:4 and that was better than some of her other horses. You guys know where I stand on this. There are going to be some horses that I move. Now, there's going to be people that say, well, Anthony, you just said you're going to give ACDC and Capistrano Knights time to mature and grow up. Why not Joe J. Fotag? I'll answer you very simply, because I don't like her attitude, right? I think she could be a nice horse, but she hasn't exhibited the characteristics of a horse that really would persevere, right? I'm telling you right now, if I put ACDC and Capistrano Knights in next week, and it's not 3,000 degrees Celsius out, and I warm them up 2 good miles, and I put them behind the gate, they both qualify. I can tell you right now with certainty that would happen. But why? Why would we be in a big hurry to do that? Just now they're qualified, great. Who are they going to be? Might win a maiden and stumble under the wire and win in 2-2 1 or 2 minutes at a piece, or maybe 59 at a piece. You're not going anywhere with that. We want them to come back wanting a taste of the track, wanting to re-qualify. And with Joe J. Fotag, I just think she's going to mature into a okay horse. She's going to race in okay races. She's going to do somebody some good. It's just not going to be us. Pretty Eyes and Lies. I wanted to go with her. Quite frankly, I could have said I should have went with Megan, actually, obviously. I know Megan had broken equipment, but when Megan comes unglued, it's like she wants to ruin everybody's day. I love her to death. She's a sweet little filly, but when she comes unglued, she's having a bad day, and it's really hard to change her mind. Now, again, if it's hot out, and if it wasn't hot out, and we warm her up, and she's acting like that, just put an extra set of bell boots on her. Put a hood on her, just get her around. But because it was so hot, we couldn't warm them up really hard. They just warmed up easy. So Megan went up to the gate, was a little fractious. There was nothing Tyler could do, and she just had a bad day. Did she break something? I don't know what she broke for equipment. She lose a shoe, she break a bell boot or something maybe. I don't think she broke her hobbles. I don't think she broke her head check. I don't think the Murphy blind fell off. I just think she had a bad day, and she'll be fine. But looking back on it, I should have went with Megan. I should have put Tyler on Jolene Hall, and that's nothing against Tyler. Just I know Megan really, really well. And then when you look at Pretty Eyes and Lies, she made a break on Amy last time she trained her, I think, or 2 times ago. She's a little funny sometimes. I just was kind of in between a rock and a hard place, right? Can't go with them all, and I thought that the ones I went with I should go with. Maybe Jolene Hall was a bad choice. Maybe I should have went with a different horse other than Jolene Hall. I don't know, but nevertheless, it was what it was. So those are the qualifiers. The only horse that kind of bugged me a little bit today was Megan in her making a break, but I'll rectify that Thursday quite quickly for you guys. Pretty Eyes and Lies was already qualified, so she's eligible to race in the Stallion Series anyway. Flat line and 45-day rule, 30-day rule, whatever the hell it is, should be fine. She'll be fine to race in her first race. If she's eligible to race in an overnight race in Pennsylvania, making a break in a second qualifier off of a clean line, then we may race her next week. I don't know. We'll see how the calendars align and what happens. But for right now, I think nothing. She will either be requalified in an overnight or just schooled up really, really tight But she just needs to work. Much like I think she's a better horse. Well, the other horse went faster though than the colt yesterday. I've been telling everybody he needs all the work. The Pennsylvania Captain Corey
Captain Doolittle.
Captain Doolittle. Now Captain Doolittle's gone faster than her. I think they fit in the same category. More work, more work, more work. You can't drill them into the ground; they'll get sore. But they need to work twice a week. They need to be on the bike at least one of those training trips. And at the end of the rainbow, at the end of that 3 weeks, you're going to see those horses shine through a little bit more. So that's what has to happen also with her. All the other horses today, the colt and the filly, you can't get angry because horses are a little immature and need time. You can't do that. That's not fair to them. And I'm not angry at Joj Fotag. I honestly thought she'd make a break today. She trotted, she qualified. Great job. Royal Duchess, those horses in that qualifier will come forward. Got to change the shoes on Judy's Money a little bit. Rico Tubbs, just get another fast mile into him. Another horse, same file as the other two. Royal Duchess, I think we got her going in the right direction. Keep her going in the right direction. 2 pacers need to go out in the field. Perfection Hammer needs to go a big mile here in about, not this Tuesday, the following Tuesday. I'll take him to the Meadows and we'll stretch him out a little bit. And then the 4 in the first qualifier were tremendous. So that was our open house day. I was thoroughly pleased. Now I will talk to Amy about her thoughts with respect to those horses. Now I thought Garrett told me there was a baseball field here. He said it was behind the hot dog drive-in place, the Doodle Drive-In, right there. Let's see if you can see them playing here somewhere. Otherwise, I'll drive down to the ballpark. He said it was kind of in behind that Doodle Drive-In place. Now, we had a number of other things to talk about this week. The horses that were racing. Man, we did have, I think it's worth talking about it, we had 2 babies that took lifetime marks this week. An unbelievably great mile from Uncle Danny. A great mile from Cherry's Girl. Now, Uncle Danny has always been super versatile, so I was not surprised with how well Uncle Danny went. Cherry's Girl has not been versatile, and I was thoroughly pleased with how well she did her work. And then I think I kind of robbed highest honors of a lifetime mark also. I could have done a better job. It bothers me a little bit. At the time, it felt like the right thing to do, but in hindsight, it was not the proper way to drive that horse, and that's on me. And maybe see if you can see Amy's car too. She'll be the one parked the furthest from the field. Generally, that's what she does. So those 3 horses raced tremendous miles this week. A great start to the year. We have the horses in Kentucky. My flights are changed. I will be in Kentucky at 8:15 tomorrow morning. I'll be at the track at 9:15. The judges texted me. They were very, very polite. I said, well, I don't got my license yet. I had to renew it. They said, don't worry about that. We'll take care of all that when you get here. Just let me know if you're able to make it. It was very nice of them to park as close to the mud hole as they could. I don't think there's a game on still, is there?
I don't know, but I don't know if you want to. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to ask this guy here. Sir, there's a couple more games today with the 11Us. Are they at this field, or is there another field close? 3 and 4 over there?
These 2 on this side, yep.
Ah,
so
great.
You'll be better to park up here.
Up here? Okay. Thank you. So, if you guys want to head over, he's over in that field right there. I'm going to finish up my video. No, you didn't. Lennon's not here yet, sweetie, but she's on her way. Did you have a good nap? Hey, I brought you your Toronto Blue Jays jersey in case you want to wear a clean shirt. You want to throw that on over top? You're hungry? Well, they got hot dogs over here. I'll get you a hot dog, okay? So.
Hot dogs.
No. We're not gonna get undressed in front of the camera. Okay, here, just throw that over top of your shirt, Boo Boo.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd be okay. So, what do we have going on here? Monday, we had Emeraldillo. I thought he raced rather well. I expect him to come back with a good performance. Cherry's Girl was fantastic in victory. There's no other way to put it. Somebody asked me, Anthony, how good? Do you think she's a Saturday Stake filly? Here, I'll put it to you this way. We're going to take the flip-flops off her, and I can honestly say I have no idea where she starts or ends yet. I can tell you one thing. That mile in 58, last quarter in 20, yeah, you go, Tim, I'll be right there. Last quarter in 28 and 3, a walk in the park for that filly, and that is a shocking thing to say. I never thought she was a bad filly. I just didn't expect her to be that good. I didn't expect her to be that good. And she is, so far, every year we have that breath of fresh air, that one that really surprises us. It would be hard not to give that honor right now to Cherry's girl, because I can honestly tell you, I don't know how fast she can go. Vehement snagged a 3. Looks like he had hooked up in the last turn, or he would have been first or second. He raced good again, raced decent again. Diosa de la Danza, we did make some shoeing adjustments to her. Now, the blacksmith that came over and did some work on her, Tim's barn, said he was confident she'd be much better if she was as good as I portrayed her to be. We're going to cut her loose a little bit this week. Not quite maybe as highest honors loose. We got to rein it in a little bit, but I think she's going to go a much better mile this week on Wednesday. Freedom Hill, Aunt Lily and O'Hill, no. 2 fillies got used a little hard and got a little soft. Aunt Lily, Jason thought, was horsing really bad. A lot of the times you factor in the heat, you factor in a lot of things when they're horsing like that. Sometimes they tie up a little bit. So we're waiting for the blood work back on her. And then O'Hill, no, we left her down in Southern Ohio. I'm going to be as frank as I can. She's got 1 start. If she doesn't race much better or look like she belongs in Southern Ohio, then she won't for us. That will be probably it for O'Hill, no, for us. Uncle Danny started off Friday. He was incredible. Manhattan Money, I thought I had him penciled in to come back and race in the condition claimers. Then the horse goes out and finishes second, and then onwards to 3. It's really hard to move him off of that. So he's going to race, I guess, right back in the onwards to 3 this week. Captain Incredible, some changes needed. You know, Amy and I had a great conversation. She said, do you think he'll stay sound with aluminums on? I said, I don't know. I know he'll go faster with them on. Yes, I'm certain of that. Now, my only question right now is, will she... what are you doing? What's wrong?
I just want to sit with you.
All right, babe. My only question about...
When did the school go? And she said, where's your mom?
Oh, just 1 second. It's okay. So Captain Incredible, my only question about Captain Incredible, is he going to race next week? I haven't made my mind up on that. I had a great talk with Jim this week, and Jill had sent me a message, a couple of my partners on Foxy Seaside. I know Foxy carries her head high. Can we get her head down? Guys, I understand, especially older horsemen, you look at some of the stuff that goes on, you're like, we need to do this to help the horse. I'm pretty confident Foxy Seaside now. He calls Scioto fast, call it whatever you want. I'm pretty confident she's going to pace 49 or 50 before the end of the summer. I don't think that there's a whole lot of changes to be made. It's kind of like trying to change the way a boxer boxes. Sure, you might be able to make them better, or a hitter hitting, or a quarterback throwing, but they did get there acting that way. And I just think attempting to keep Foxy Seaside's head anchored down is only going to frustrate her and make her angry. She can get a little crazy at times. I don't know if you remember last year or not. She run off on Brett, and she got a little wild on me a couple of times too. She's sensible. We're racing her from off the pace. Kane is doing a tremendous job driving her, and I think we just let it play out. Yeah, we were, sweetheart. I let you sleep. Just 1 second. I think we just let it play out. There's no rush. Gorgeous Package. I'm going to stuff her right in that condition claimer, and I know I had a young lady accost me politely today and say, I don't want to lose that filly. I get it. Chris's daughter, I get it. I get you don't, and I understand it. But with a tag of $52,000 and the class difference, such a substantial drop, I just think it's worth putting her in there, because I don't think anybody else is going to find a better way to race her. So take advantage of what is given to us and what is right in front of us, and maybe the filly can bounce forward in a bigger way for us. She's already paced 51. We know she can go there. Let's let her get some confidence rather than getting her beat up. Now, last night, Save America was tremendous. I told everybody also, I get it. I mentioned it in a video today, guys. A win is a win, right? Save America, he doesn't know how much he raced for. He doesn't know who he was in with. The horse is brimming with confidence. Do we need it? Are we going to keep racing like that week out and week in? No, of course not. Of course we're not. I don't know whether Smitty is planning on giving him a break. I haven't talked to him yet. A week off or whatnot. We'll see. But I'm happy with the way Save America is racing. He's shown a lot of guts. To win out of the 8.5 mile track in 50-3 is a huge, huge accomplishment. Or 50-4, whatever it was. And I think he'll be better for it. Highest honors, as I said, maybe I owe him a little bit of an apology, but the horse did race well. And I think he'll be fine from it. What is this? No, I don't. Arrowhead Hanover raced great. I was really torn on racing him this week, and then right back in the Courier and Ives. They moved it 2 days back, but at the same time, I'm glad we did. I said this morning in a video, We know we're going to put a little borium on his toe. We got to work on some mucus and take the head pole off. Had we not raced him, those 3 things would not be known to us. And this would be a conversation maybe you were having after the Courier Knives. So I was pleased that we did race him when all was said and done. Patrick DePrano raced good. AJ, raced, but that's AJ. I'm glad that Mr. Switzer raced him like that. Obviously, sharp guy. Drives a lot of horses. He knows what kind of horse he is. He's a coward. So you just have to race him like one. There's lots of horses like that. We've had good cowards. We've had bad cowards. But as long as we can find a place to consistently race them and drive them in a consistent manner, there's a place for them. We'll see how AJ continues to race moving forward. Rock Shining Star was great. I think he's sitting on a win probably. James drove him very conservatively, very James-like, but the horse raced very, very well last night. And then Time is on my side again, talking about learning. We learned a lot about him last night. Right line a little bit more, showed a little bit of blood. Tim and his crew have to work on that. I suspect in collaboration with Megan at some point, work on that to get him dried up and get him racing. The only question I have to them, one that I can't answer and one that I'll defer to them, is, do we race him next week? I don't know. We'll find out together. A lot of these questions have to be answered. A lot of questions right now. How will we do in Kentucky? How will the horses do it? How will the horses do leading up to the next generation? I think you're going to see a big mile from Diosa Della Donza next week. I think you're going to see a similar but better mile from Highest Honors. I think a big mile is coming up from Tomboy Strong. And we've already seen a big mile from Uncle Danny. We're in a really, really good position heading into the summer in Ohio. Pennsylvania looks good also. I'm very happy with what I've seen so far in Pennsylvania. Oak Grove, very interesting there also. We have our filly that's made it out to Megan in New Jersey. And Ontario is ready to go this week also with the Tompkin Gears. I'm going to watch my boy play the rest of his baseball game. Good luck to him. Good luck to you. I hope you had a lot of fun tuning into the open house. Again, it was a great time. We learned a lot from the open house also. I think we'll scale it back into May like we've done in previous years and make it a much bigger affair, both in December and in May of 2025 and 2026. Have a great... Bye. Have a great rest of your weekend. As I said, I hope you had a lot of fun. It was a great day here in Ohio. Take care.